Top 7 Best Mirrorless Camera 2023. Through extensive research and testing, I have put together the list of options that will meet the need of different types of buyers. So whether it's price, performance, or particular use, we have got you covered. For more information, I have put links of products in the description. Make sure to check it out. Like the video, comment, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get started. Number 7. Panasonic Lumix DC-S5. Panasonic's S5 is a compact full-frame mirrorless with a very sharp 24-megapixel sensor. The S5 mostly holds its own against the rest of these full-frame cameras in still image quality, but what really sets it apart is the extra video features you won't find elsewhere. Support for vlog recording, anamorphic 4K support, and uncropped 4K at 30 frames per second top the list. The result is a camera that's perfect for hybrid video and still shooters. But one place this camera struggles is autofocus, especially when shooting video. That's where the new S5i should be a significant step up. It features a new chip with onboard phase detection, and from early reports, appears to bring the S5's autofocus up to snuff. Unfortunately, it's also significantly more expensive at $2,300. We haven't had a chance to test this one, but if you can afford it, on paper it's well worth the upgrade. Both S5s use the L-mount lens system, an effort to do for full-frame what Panasonic did for Micro Four Thirds, create a unified lens mount standard. Leica is the driving force behind the L-mount, but Panasonic and Sigma also have plenty of glass in L-mount. That means there's no shortage of lenses for the S5. If your primary use case is video, be sure to check out our guide to the gear and tips you need to make studio-grade home videos. Number 6. Canon EOS R. The Canon EOS R is a mirrorless option for people who love their DSLRs. It's a hefty beast with a solid feel that reminds me of what I used to love about film cameras. Even the on-off switch is made of metal. The sensor is typically Canon, which is to say sharp, with good contrast and the characteristic Canon color rendering. It's slightly warmer in tone than some of the others here. The phase detect autofocus is fast and accurate. One thing to note, the rumor mills suggest that the R might be getting an update in 2023. One thing I really like is that when you change lenses, there's a cover that swings out to protect the sensor from dust. The exception is if you have an adapter and you remove the lens but not the adapter. Every camera on this list would benefit from adopting this feature. The R-mount lens system uses a very wide base diameter, like the Nikon system, and achieves similar results. There are fast R lenses around. The better news for those already invested in Canon glass is that there's a $99 adapter that will let you affix just about any older Canon lens to the R. Number 5. Nikon Z6i. The Nikon Z6i is Nikon's answer to the Sony A7i, and it is a good answer for dedicated Nikon shooters. The 24-megapixel full-frame sensor has excellent dynamic range, and the phase detect autofocus system is one of the best I've used. Video quality is also excellent, with 10-bit 4:2 N-Log output possible over HDMI. The Nikon Z6i is also the most comfortable camera to hold on this list. Although this will depend somewhat on the size of your hands, the grip is larger and more generously spaced than on the Sony or Fujifilm cameras. The Z-series lens system is intriguing for its wider base mount, which allows more light to the corners of the sensors. The benefits of this can be seen in the incredibly fast 58mm/0.95 lens, manual focus, and the surprisingly small 50mm/1.2. If you've got a lot of legacy Nikon glass you want to keep using, there's an F-to-Z mount adapter available for $250. Number 4. Sony A7RV. The new A7RV uses the same 61-megapixel full-frame sensor as its predecessor, which remains largely unmatched, unless you opt for medium-format cameras. If that's not enough, there's a 16-shot, high-resolution mode that can create 240MP images, so long as your subject is static, a landscape. The dynamic range is outstanding, and the ability to recover detail in the shadows is something you'll only believe once you do it yourself. The primary improvements over the previous model are increased autofocus speed and intelligence, a huge new viewfinder, and, although this might sound strange, an option for smaller RAW files. Fully uncompressed RAW files from this sensor run around 125 megabytes per image. There are now options to shoot large, medium, or small lossless compressed RAW files. I haven't tested this model, but I will update this guide after I do. Number 3. Fujifilm X-T5. The Fujifilm X-T5 9/10 wired recommends is the best camera I've tested this year. Fujifilm uses APS-C sensors, which are smaller than the full-frame sensors in the rest of the cameras in this guide. But with the 40-megapixel sensor in the new X-T5, you'd be hard-pressed to tell the difference. Images from the X-T5 are sharp, wonderfully detailed, and don't suffer too much noise. This sensor also manages to retain that uniquely Fujifilm look. The X-T5 is more focused on the shooter of stills, while the updated X-EH2 $2,500 with XF 1680mm lens kit is the best option for those more interested in video. The camera body's design is reminiscent of film cameras, and perhaps the best thing about it is how seldom you need to use digital controls. ISO, shutter speed, exposure compensation, and shooting modes are all accessible via physical dials. Plus, Fujifilm's excellent line of lenses is surprisingly affordable relative to some of the others on the list, making this one of the least expensive systems to invest in. My only real gripe is the grip. It's on the small side for a body of this size. Number 2. Sony A7IV camera. Sony's A7IV 9/10 wired recommends is a 33-megapixel full-frame camera capable of incredibly sharp images with excellent dynamic range and the best autofocus system on the market. It's compact and light enough to carry all day without back strain, and the grip is comfortable. The 5-axis image stabilization means you can handhold it in lower light, and the wide range of 4K video options make it the best all-around video and stills combo on this page. There are better still cameras, see the Sony A7RIV below, and better video cameras, but nothing else combines the two quite as well. What I don't like about it, or any other Sony, is the labyrinthine menu system. Luckily, there are enough customizable buttons that it's not too difficult to set things up, so you never need to dive into the menus. Number 1. Sensor Talk. The internet has an obsession with sensors, megapixels, and zooming in on images to find their flaws. Here's the thing. If sharpness is what you want, shoot the largest format you can. But know that great photographs don't need to be razor sharp from edge to edge. Few of them are. That said, most of the cameras here have full-frame sensors, except the Fujifilm models, which use the APS-C sensors. There is nothing magical about this size. It just happens to be the same size as 35mm film. This means that any lens made for a film camera can, probably, be adapted to work with the camera and produce the same field of view. There are much smaller sensors, micro four thirds for example, that are capable of producing very sharp images. Future versions of this guide may include some micro four thirds cameras, but for now, to keep things simple, I've limited testing to APS-C and larger sensors. So guys, that's all for Top 7 Best Mirrorless Camera 2023. The links of all products are given in the description, which are updated for the best prices. Subscribe our channel for more videos. We will meet in next video. Till then, take care, bye.